see proof, that's all. You're in a public place, ma'am.
That's okay, we understand. And what Sharon will tell you.
Are we doing
I call the finance meeting order. First order of business is approve the minutes as read.
Second.
All those in favor? Passes. Got warrants 86 for 9293 of this year, $333,617.60. I make a motion to bring that to full council to approve.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Passes. Anything further?
I have a bill to Klinger for $650.37 for the wastewater.
I would bring that amount to full council for approval. Second, all those in favor? Passes. Anything further?
One more thing. The Missouri Community Betterment Education, we have paid for one person to go every year. I did check, we've paid anywhere from $130 to $150, and I think this one was $130. So,
And is,
So do we need?
Mr. Cohen, is that enough to,
Whose place are you paying?
I'm sorry?
Who's being paid? No.
we're not sure, but we're wanting to know how much is the amount to?
I
Well,
think
she's
that,
got the information.
You have it, oh, how much, does that cover the amount to go?
I don't think the city's ever designated anybody to go, it's just
think
for
community
someone to go.
Betterment has chosen that person, right?
Yeah,
No, we haven't.
yes, we have.
Oh,
We
we
always
have?
have. Mhm.
Well, we haven't chosen one this year,
Okay.
because it was late in getting there, and when,
I do, if
Right.
Brett could go, he would be good to go.
Is it, when is it?
19th and 20th of October.
Okay. And you would,
Day after Colorfest.
you would still like to do this, correct? I mean, community betterment would like to city sponsor someone?
I think Brett would be a good one to go if he's able. Others have already registered and paid.
I guess I'm, from the administrative side, I'm a little confused about what the request is. That this is a request from community betterment, or this is something that Sharon is indicating we would like to do as an administrative move? or-
well,
It's been done for years.
it's been done for,
Correct.
it hasn't been done, it wasn't done last year for some reason, I don't know why. But we've always before sponsored someone and paid for them to go with us.
And I have no problem sponsoring it, I'm just a little unclear about what it is we're talking about. This is a request from
Community
community
betterment,
betterment to sponsor someone.
To sponsor someone to go to the conference.
And so I guess that's what's before the finance committee, and if
Is
they
this
have
something-
my support.
Okay, all right. All right, so I'll make a motion that we, that the city sponsor, I'm gonna make a motion to bring to full council to pay that amount to sponsor an individual to go to the community betterment event on October 18th and 19th.
Second.
Got a second, all those in favor? Passes. Anything further?
Thank you, you two. Well, I think that this meeting, the finance committee, is where we should probably pay attention to and take a look at where we are compared to our budget, basically our fiscal policy. Our budget outlines what we expect to do with our resources, and I've worked very hard to try to get us a report that helps us be able to determine if we are in fact doing that or not. It's been incredibly helpful. I think it's caused a lot of work, but it's been helpful from an administrative standpoint. We found a number of places that we've got some coding issues, and some numbers didn't get entered maybe correctly, or reflecting exactly what the budget was into our finance software. So So it's already been of use to us to be accurate. It's been very useful to me to start being able to say, okay, what are the questions that we should be asking? I think that my hope is that this new report will allow you to just look down that right column and anywhere that there's red, it's bad, green is safe. Green doesn't necessarily mean good, because anywhere it's big, it means we're not doing what we thought we were going to do, right? But big and red is the stuff we definitely ought to be talking about. So, I thought we could take a minute and maybe just run down that right side, and if you have any questions on any of those, I did have staff work today to, build some explanations for the ones that, the 24 of them that I had questions about. You know, why are we not where we thought we should be? But these numbers are now, one of the problems I've had, and I think I'm reiterating, but it's important. One of the problems that I've always had with our monthly reporting is that it is not adjusted for the month. The financial software just says, expects us to spend every line item at 8.3% per month, right? And it doesn't, you know, but we're not using the pool in December, right? So what Bob and I have worked on is based on historic data, tried to build a matrix so that we have individual percentages for every line item for every month. And that's what's being reflected in this graphic, where we expect to be at this point. So we can be a little more accurate, I think, now at assessing what we have. That also starts illustrating some interesting things, like the big one that you'll see on the income side has been the sales tax, and it's less now than, it's off a lot less now than it was last month. So we're compiling a report of the last 3 years, every month for the last 3 years of sales tax. We should be able to then identify the hit we took when Kroger closed, and we will have an actual number, which I don't think we've ever really had at our fingertips, of what that meant to us, and we'll be able to project, since that gets paid quarterly, when that's going to return. I'm guessing it's probably next month from the county market reopening. But I think that it's important if we can identify issues now, then we can find problems in it, like a coding problem or some issue that we've done something wrong internally, or if we have a real problem externally, we can make adjustments. You know, maybe we don't push off buying something, or we're doing a little better than we thought, we can reach a little further on something we prioritized. But this is the committee that I'd like to see that conversation and recommendation come out of, and I hope this report allows us to have that conversation. So are there any questions on any of these line items in this report?
And for the most part, all I see is, as you said, the sales tax revenue, which we can't really do anything to control that, and the water sales. I mean, unless you're gonna force everybody to turn the water on or something. Shoot, but that,
Well, the water sales is related, we believe, to the wholesale water rate, and I'll have some more information on that. Basically, the Pike Water PWSD has, we've come to an agreement to start negotiating, so I'm gonna ask full council tonight, for authorization to go negotiate that, and I'll give you the numbers, but I think that will return, but that'll be a few months out.
close the gap, you think?
Yeah, on the water piece. Are there any other ones? I found 24. So. I had 24 questions. You guys gotta make it harder on me. Come on.
Go ahead, Don.
We won't start realizing sales tax from county market for some time, will we?
We think we'll actually see that probably show up next month.
They run about 2 months.
And some sales tax comes in quarterly, and some is monthly, and that appears to be a quarterly cycle, so we think it'll hit next month, if not the month after.
It's probably gonna be a monthly cycle, but it just hasn't hit.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to come up with questions when we actually just got this, you know,
I-
so.
I recognize that.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we're functioning without a treasurer, which is pretty.
When when you have printing on, in the red on the left, and on your graph, you have green next to that, what is that?
Well, you're looking at an expense, an amount that we had planned on expending, so red is negative, that means we've spent less than we intended. So, and a red number means negative, in the account.
So green means that we're less, and red means more?
Inexpensive, in expenses, green, a red number is good. It's safe at least. It means we've spent less than we planned on that line item.
Okay. So if you have the red on the right side, that means that we have spent more than we
More.
planned.
Right. If you're in in one of the expense, divisions. An example of where that isn't the case is that we realized when we did this that one of the things we budgeted for was to pay off the fire truck. That hasn't been done yet, we just haven't gotten to it. The reason to do that was to try to save some interest. So, it showed up here as this big we didn't spend it, but I can see that in this report, so now we're gonna go take care of that. So any divergence is a divergence from the fiscal policy we have planned. I do recognize that you didn't have a lot of time to look at this. I apologize for that. Please come see me if you want to talk about it, or let me know by email or call me or whatever if you have some questions.
You've got one item here that is, if I'm on the right line, is, I guess wastewater, RSF principle, is that on the loan?
Yeah, there are a number of issues on the wastewater side. Let me find, with that. Just had that in front of me. Here.
Why is that the four in the red?
Which one is that exactly? That's SRF?
It's the,
You're looking at, so there were three.
the one before wastewater expenses, water distribution expenses.
So we have a wastewater SRF principal for $61,504. We're over our anticipated expenses. And Christina says, I believe this may be a miscalculation on my part. This will be adjusted at mid-year. So she has a structure in place that now we know is reporting erroneously, or is not accurately categorizing it, and we're gonna make that correction. So that's an example of us catching something and being able to do something about it, instead of just waiting till the end of the year and we're like, wherever we wind up is where we wind up, right? Let's fix it and figure it out. There were a couple of places where there were some issues like that. There are also the two new accounts that Mark Ross had us build so that we can accurately move money from enterprise to other. We don't really know what those numbers should have been, so I think our projections were a little inaccurate. I'm hoping at mid-year, when we adjust the budget, we'll be able to put in more accurate forecasting.
Thank you, Bill.
Is there anything
So,
further?
I have
Move to adjourn? Thanks, we are adjourned.